Welcome back to Launch Your Light, a podcast that covers the soul and strategy of running a business and sharing your heart's work with the world. We have another incredible guest on the show here today. With me is Jen Ofstein Sullivan. She is with Body Logic Therapeutics. She is a licensed massage therapist, a cranial-sacral practitioner, and a health coach. And guys, this is who I go to. So I had to have her on the show. She is in my community. She is in my town, and she is amazing. And we're here to talk to Jen today. Hello. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I love your painting. Too bad you guys can't see these paintings behind our head because they've got great stories. One, the painting behind my head was in her office across the hall from me at Soul Sanctuary. What up, Justine? And what you were redoing your office, right?
Yeah, I was just renovating, just making it like feel more me. And I was like, this painting is no longer me. I'm done with it.
And the painting is a white canvas with an explosion of every color you could imagine in like tufts and pools and swirls, like an explosion of color on white canvas. And she handed it to you, like, do you want this? I was like, oh my God, that's my brain. And then it happened to be the branding for Daydream too, which is all like white and splash of color everywhere. And I was like doing all the behind the scenes work for it. And I was like, yes, thank you so much. So now it sits in my office. And behind her head, you just got some new paintings.
Well, I had this one. It
Oh,
says
okay.
surrounded by love. I love affirmation paintings. And then I have a new one that I just had Jacqueline uh, commissioned her to do one for me for the office to replace the one I gave to you, and it's called Embrace the Journey.
Yes. And that is Social Luniac on Instagram if you want to follow her. She's one of our favorite artists.
Amazing, amazing.
Her stuff is great. All right, so we kicked this off with some paintings. We had to. All right.
Yep.
So much to discuss today. You've had quite the journey. I feel like I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
want to touch on cranial sacral too, because I feel like that is still something that's really coming out in the world. I mean, it's been out for a while,
Mhm.
but can you explain what that is? Like, let's just jump in with cranial sacral because it's so exciting, it's so powerful, it's so needed, and it is really growing in popularity right now.
Yeah, I love craniosacral is just for me, it's just been magical. Like I wasn't, when I went to school, I was going for massage therapy and it's been amazing. But I kind of came full circle back to cranial sacral therapy because of one of my good friends from massage school who's that's like, that's her passion too, to help people. So anyways, short story long is long story short. Cranial sacral therapy is basically, helping re-regulate or resetting, the nervous system. It's basically bringing that balance back to your body. So we think of the cranial sacral system, not just the head, but it goes all the way down to the pelvic. So if you have that, your sacrum, which is that triangular bone on the pelvic and the backside, it's that entire length of your cerebral spine. And you have fluid that runs in it. And what happens is that fluid is nourishing your central nervous system. So think about if something's off in your central nervous system, how do you think the rest of your body is going to work? It's not going to work the way that it should. It wouldn't be working at full capacity. So you could have dysfunction with like maybe muscle spasms. You could have issues going on with maybe your organs. Um, Maybe you're having something going on like you're not, you're having issues with let's say, what else do we have, sinus issues. People have TMJ issues. It works on all of that. It touches on all that because when things are stuck, bones, muscles, any of those things, when that's stuck, things in your body can't work right. And cranial, it's so gentle as far as touch goes, um, that we're at the end of the day, we're helping still achieving soft tissue release, but a different way than doing like active work like then massage, basically.
I'm glad you brought that up because I still think we're in a school of thought where people think they need to be worked out so hard. Either they're working out at the gym so hard or they're getting like beat up on a massage table for it
Hmm.
to like work or feel good or be something. And cranial, such as like cranial sacral is such a gentle touch that but it's profound. I mean, you drift away. Like you were like, where do we just go? And what the hell just happened? Right? So it's like, how has that been explaining that to people? Or like, introducing that into our society, which is kind of still like rough, rough, hard, hard, you know?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I have people who like are on the massage train, but sometimes it's like, you have this emotional event, this traumatic event that happened, and you're like, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, let's do a little bit of massage, but let's do some cranial sacral and see if we can kind of help you, bring like calm down your nervous system and just help you deal with whatever you need to deal with. And I love cranial because also we're dealing with the emotional body too. We're helping people get through and break through any traumatic experience they've had physically, mentally, emotionally, any of that. Um, and it's funny because when we think of trauma, we think of it like you falling down when you were a child and you hurt your tailbone. That could come up during a session as an
Mm,
adult. That I
yeah.
end up getting drawn to somebody's sacrum, and now I'm working on this to release any of those structures in that area. And the person will get off my tail, I'm like, "What did you just do?"
Mm,
Because I feel like like I can stand up straighter, and I feel like I have more fluid movement to my walk.
mm,
Um, Other people I've done mini sessions with people too, which has been profound too, because people are like, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to give it a go.
mhm,
So when I've done events for people, I've done like 15-minute mini sessions. I connect, I feel kind of where I feel like they're off in the body. Like so going back to again what cranial sacral is, so cranial sacral, there's a rhythm to your breath, there's a rhythm to your heart, but there's also a rhythm to the fluid motion within the cranial sacral system, and that, in your spinal cord, basically going from your brain all the way down to your sacrum. And I'm feeling for where it might be off within your body because all parts of your body are moving in sync with one another. Sometimes one side of the body might be moving slower, the other one may not have any movement. Um, so it's about bringing all body parts back into balance as best we can during a session.
mm.
Sometimes it may take a couple of sessions depending upon kind of where the person's at in their healing journey too. um, but it's trying to kind of bring relief there. And I had a person, like, I was going back I had a 15-minute session connected right with, I said, I'm like, did you have ear infections when you were younger? And they're like, yep. I'm like, are you dealing with something right now? Because something feels really off. And we did literally like a 15-minute session. They get off the table and they're like, oh my God, I can actually like, I have like my issues gone away, basically.
Wow.
And it's crazy because, you think about all the bony structures in the head, all the muscles, the neck, in the head area, but more than, the neck and everything kind of below that. So we're trying to open up, work my way up, and then open up, and release any of that tension that I'm kind of feeling
Mm,
in that area. But it's just funny because like the body's dictating on where I'm going
mhm,
when I'm in a session with somebody. So
mm.
it's a lot of fun. I find it so interesting, the human body. It's so fascinating. It's so fascinating.
This is a perfect job for a manifesting generator too. I mean, I know that you also are years. How many years were you as a massage therapist
Oh God,
before this?
since 2012 is when I had finished schooling for it. Yeah.
So it's great because it's like you guys bounce from it's great for you guys to bounce from person to person, situation to situation. You know what I mean? And even place
Yep.
to place keeps you on your toes and you love it. You get energy
Yep.
from that. Whereas like
Yep.
staying in the same place 9 to 6 every day would like not necessarily be the best.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been because I still work with my corporate job, and it's like, but now that but don't get me wrong, I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for
Yeah.
everything that I've been like, I've kind
Yeah.
of this journey that I've been taking in my own life, but it's just been, yeah, it's been really interesting.
Actually, can we? That's good too, because for anyone hearing that, like, I'm stuck in my job. How did she do this? It's like, well, you were really open and honest with your company and the people who own it, and you worked with them and they worked with you to navigate times where you could have certain days off, afternoons off, so you could go have space elsewhere, right? So this is a great example of like you kept your job and let it take care of you while you went off and got these certifications and you still have it. Right? I
Hmm.
think there's so much of this energy of like, just jump off, just quit your job. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Unless you have like anything else coming in to support that, right? Or like a very clear next step, it's going to be really challenging. So, how has it been for you to navigate both?
It's been interesting. I mean, when I first started, you know, I first started working with my company right out of college in 2004, and I was really kind of, probably by 2008, I was kind of teetering back and forth with going to massage school. Finally pulled the trigger, went to massage school in 2010. I talked to my boss before that, and I said, hey, I'm going to do the 17-month program. I'd really like to see if I can leave early on Wednesdays. I'll make up the time, work through lunch, whatever I need to do. Um, but I really just need Wednesday nights is my day so I can go to school because I was doing that and I was doing Saturday all day for 17 months.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it was a lot, but I was thankful because I was very fortunate for my parents because I was living at home at the time.
Mhm.
I didn't have any relationship commitments to anybody. Still on
Mm,
my own journey as far as that goes, which was
mhm,
totally fine. So it kind of gave me all the focus that I needed to
mm,
really invest in my education there. So that was, 17 months. Fast forward to 2012, finished with that. And then I kind of continued, I kind of shifted the days, when I was talking with my boss and I said, hey, I'm going to do two, if it's okay, I'm going to do Tuesday nights at this health club. And I started doing Saturdays. And it's funny because when I met my husband, I decided not to do Saturdays anymore and decided to do 2 weekday nights instead. So I could still have I still have my daytime job. I would do my secondary job of doing massage 2 nights a week. So that's
mhm.
kind of how it started for me as far as that goes, because I wanted the weekends to have with him and
Yeah.
to have it to like rest and recover too in the same sense.
Whoa. It's such a transformation. And I love that you're sharing this like authentic path with it because it's not cut and dry for a
No,
lot of people. I'm going to do this thing and then I'm going to have a job and then you know what I mean? It's like it's a journey. Hey, what's the painting you just got?
embrace the journey.
It's a journey. Okay, I want to hop back over. This is going to be a very manifesting generator conversation, okay? Because we're going to hop right back on over to cranial sacral because what I find so fascinating is how was it to go from hands-on, like deep tissue, or Swedish massage. Oh my God, guys, I just took a 2 mile walk in really cold weather and my mouth is still defrosting. So don't mind me like blah, 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 on this call right now. To go from that to then open yourself up for the delicateness and being receptive to the power of cranial sacral. Like, what was that like as a practitioner?
Oh, yeah. So it was actually really interesting. I'm actually going to open up my book over here that I have next because I needed
Please
to see the
do.
date that I actually went. I wanted to see the date that I actually did my first level of cranial sacral training, which was in 20. So I finished massage school in 2012, and then I went to do my first level of cranial sacral training in 2014. And it was funny because I did the class, which was great, and it was really interesting at the time. But where I was working at a health club, nobody understood what cranial sacral was. Nobody wanted it. They wanted massage, and that was it. So I really
Right.
couldn't at the time,
Yeah.
blend that in or offer that as a service in my practice there. So I'm just like, all right. So it wasn't until I'm gonna look at my secondary book over here and see what it had for that date. If I wrote the date in it, I'm not sure, which you can. If they make you write down the date and the teacher, okay. So I took my second level of cranial sacral training in 2013. Now, this is funny because that was when I had that aha moment.
Mm.
I was working, we had 4 days worth of training for my level two training. And I was working on one of the other practitioners. And I swear those 4 days, anytime somebody put their hands on me, I just felt like this vibration of energy for anybody that I
Mm.
was really connecting with, which was like really like, and I've never really felt it before the way I did during this training. I laid my hands on a couple different practitioners when I was doing some of these new techniques with them, and I felt it in my body on where to go in them. It was
Wow.
just insane. So I was talking through some of it with them, and she's like, yeah, I've been having an issue in that hip, or I've had this issue like releasing in my chest. I've had a traumatic experience where somebody kicked me, like I got kicked in the chest as a kid, and
Wow.
that's what I was feeling. So and on the flip side, one of my friends from massage school, she said to me, Jen, you got to ground yourself. I know, I understand, I got you. But it was just like one of those things where it was like, holy crap. It was like, I've never had that sensation before. And it was like one of those things that really like, it was like an awakening for me, basically, at this,
Mm.
my second level
Yes.
of training. So it was a huge gap from when I took the level one in 2014 to 2023. But I'll tell you, I'm really glad I waited because it was definitely worth it. So, yeah, where are we
Wait.
going with
Oh,
this?
this is great. This is great. Okay. This is another great point. You did these trainings years ago, and now you're finally at a place where you're not only getting them out to adults, but now you're helping this with children. So this is
Yeah.
like, before we get into that, for anyone hearing this, it's like, I did that certification years ago and I did nothing with it. It's like, the time will come, or maybe you need to just move on from it, but maybe it's not the right time and the time's going to come. And also with the Manny Gens, you guys start and stop things very easily and very quickly, and that pisses other people off unless you get it. Like, I get it. I get that you guys do that and you get it and it all makes sense, but you're not going to see how it makes sense or when it makes sense till later on. Right. And now you're working with children in this.
Yep.
So what was the spark for you to bring this back? Want to do this more than the massage and then work with children?
It's funny. So oh gosh. So I think I needed to kind of shift gears. I really loved the work for craniosacral because I was still getting the work done by a friend and some other practitioners too. And I'm like, you know what? I really need to come full, and to get really back into this because I had ended up getting my own, started practicing at a space more locally versus doing home visits up in Massachusetts with clients. um, I think when Justine opened up her space at Soul Sanctuary. So I think that was since 2021 or 2022. I think it was 2022 is when I started,
2022, yeah.
do yeah, to pull the trigger to kind of, rent a few days a week there. And that's been a blessing, I feel like, for me anyways. Now I have my own room, which, it's good because I can kind of ebb and flow when I want to get, balance back and forth in there. But um going back to what you were just asking, it's allowed me, practicing the space. It has allowed me to offer people not just massage, but now to really offer like full cranial sacral sessions.
Mhm.
Or some people might want to do like, let's do an hour massage or a half an hour cranial because they like the blend of both worlds kind of thing. So I feel like I'm growing into that more. I have the space to do it now where I can offer those services. I'm not just doing massage, but to also do this kind of work too. And working with the kids for me, what sparked that whole thing was really, I think, embracing my inner child. My husband and I, we decided, before, we got together, we weren't really on the kid track, but
Mhm.
I love kids, and my whole family knows. Like I love kids, and I love playing with them because it's so fun because you can really embrace your inner child. Like I just feel like I just get energetically charged by kids. It's funny, the
Yeah.
funniest thing, kids, my family. Like I'm a very big family person, and I just said, I'm like, you know what? I think the universe is directing me to, this is my outlet to help families, helping, the kids really get into doing the cranial sacral work on them, basically, to
Mhm.
help them work through any issues that they're dealing with in their bodies at a young age.
Like what? Can we go down some of those for the parents that are hearing this right now? Because it may be like the beauty of and the depth of work that you can do with children and adults, but with so many issues that kids have and parents are struggling, right? So like let's list
Yep.
off some of the things that this helps with for children and
Oh
babies.
God. So one of the readings that I did before I took the pediatrics class for cranial was sensory difficulties. And I'm just like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Mm,
I just knew like how everybody was labeling ADHD. Um, some kids don't like, they have a sense, sensory, like, issues with touch,
mhm,
or they have no sensory stimuli at all. And they just sit there and they're just like, they don't respond to anything. And it's just kind of
mm,
funny because it's like I never knew like about all these other layers with like with the kids, even adults like are going through too.
mm,
Um, so I think it was another thing was that I had a family member who had their little one that was diagnosed with ADHD. So for helping with things like, it can help with autism, it can help with ADHD. It can also help with there's any issues during the birthing process.
mm.
Um, it can also help with any of, birthing difficulties as well, colic, digestive issues. And it was funny, there was one of those key points that the instructor made to us when we were in the pediatrics classes. You think about when a woman is giving birth and the child is passing through the birth canal, right? When they're coming out into the world, that is their first adjustment that they
I
get
heard
within their
that.
body.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that.
And I didn't know that. And I was like, and she's like, and think about what happens when the child doesn't have, they get it's a C-section birth.
Hmm.
So they're not going through that natural process. So now their body has to learn how to integrate not being adjusted automatically during that time of birth.
Hmm.
So I know some parents I've talked to, it was interesting. They've had that kind of birth experience, and they would actually use their chiropractor um, after, on the newborn to help with that, which is amazing that they were, so in tune with that to go right away and do that. So there's just, with kids too, sometimes like, their nervous systems are all wound up. I'm helping ground and bring them back down. And it's not just, what I'm seeing is it's not just like, the kids kind of being all wound up. It's also their environment too.
Hmm.
It could be other kids they're playing with that they're getting that energetic, pullback from. It's also could be the family environment too. So
All
it's,
the technology.
yeah, all the technology. It's like, ugh. But it's the one thing that I've really loved about the pediatrics class that we did and we learned is it's not just about working on the child, it's working on the family unit. For me, that like I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it because I just felt like that was so profound for me because like I said, I'm a very big family person. I've always been a big family person. It was instilled in me by my nana and I just love, when we can kind of bring together this connectedness, I guess you could say. And when we were learning in class, not just working on the kid, but like and like connecting with the parents and bonding everybody together, it was such a cool
Mm.
experience.
Wow. This is the way of the future,
Yeah.
right? Like all of these more intricate, I don't want to say it's like the gentleness is the way of the future, but I think we've slowly opened up to these modalities and types of healing and these systems of health that are like, years ago it was like decades ago, just working out, like, or lifting heavy things, you know what I mean? And then the
Mhm.
chiropractor came along and yoga came along. And we're like, oh, they're all quacks, right? Like, oh, they're all crazy. Now it's like totally, totally recognized and understood. Everyone on the planet knows what yoga is if you said yoga. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Chiropractor, there's nothing quacky about it anymore. Everyone's got one. Like, then the acupuncture that's ancient, but it was brought to the West, right? Like in the
Mhm.
80s or something. Like these little things. It's like so gentle, so fluid, right? But profound work. And I think it's because people are waking up, becoming more aware and more conscious, and they're now ready for these types of practices. Everyone's talking about the central nervous system. No one was talking about the central nervous system in the 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? And now
Yep.
look, it's actually a conversation in people's healing. This is beautiful, right? And then here come all of these, like a resurgence or an uprising of practices like this that are gentle yet profound. So, where do you see, like, with your work, how would you like to shift it? Because I know, are you like trying to fully go over to this? And you also have the health coaching, right? That's a whole nother
Yeah.
thing. I love my Manny
I
Gens. I
have a
love my
lot
Manny
of
Gens.
I have a lot of buckets.
I love the
Um,
buckets.
I love my buckets that I'm filling.
Give me the people
Yeah.
with the buckets. I got you guys. I got you.
It's eventually, yeah. I mean, like, it's just kind of like for me, this is kind of a build up on like what I love doing, so we'll see where things go. With the practice, with the health coaching stuff, I'm doing the functional medicine training still. I did my first level, past that. I'm working on my second level, but it's funny because I feel like I kind of got pulled away from that
Hmm.
into going back into cranial. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on right now.
Yeah.
Um, but now I'm coming again back full. I'm coming back into like I'm full circle back into the functional medicine stuff. So I'm getting back into my training and certification as far as that goes. But you learn a lot in your own life and other people's lives that you work with. And it's like, I realize, I think we've talked before, Jayme, about it's like we know more than I think like we're in some areas than, the average person like is like sometimes like may seem like, oh, I lack the confidence, but it's like, I really do. I realized the other day, I'm like, I really do know my stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm like holding myself back from doing this
Yeah.
kind of work.
Mhm. It's conditioning.
So
It's absolutely, it's
yeah,
conditioning on all of us. How many of us feel that? And it's something to overcome. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's something to grow in. And it is kind of funny where like I'll be like, oh, like I've surrounded myself with really eclectic people, let's say. I don't know. People who are in purpose, people who are doing this, people who are making brave moves. And then I like step out into the world. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. That's right. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm the
Yeah.
fucking weirdo. I'm the black sheep still out in the world. But at this point, we're not even the black sheep. We're like this aura that people can sense and see. Oh, you're living aligned. Her, that. I want to talk to her. I want to know her. I want to ask her a question. I'm saying that to that her is most likely anyone listening to this episode. You know what I mean? Or this podcast in general. Like when you are living aligned, it is a very different frequency that you give out versus those who don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm been living a lot more since I've been practicing at my own space down here than in years past. It was just kind of like, just kind of take the stride, do the thing. But now I'm just like, I'm really like loving what I'm doing. Not that I didn't love it before, but it's just, I feel more in line since I started doing the cranial sacral. Um, and now, like I said, coming back and doing with the health coaching, like more of the education stuff for me right now. It's just, I guess at the end of the day, like I just want to help people. I've
Mhm.
struggled myself, and it's like I want to help people. It's like I mean, we all have to go through it, but at the same time, it's like, why not make it easier? Let me
Mm,
help you try to make and comfort you and make the process easier, whatever you're going through.
yeah.
That's what I feel.
Oh, that's beautiful. Um, I also want to say, like, when did you know this was your purpose? When did that kick on for you?
For just the work in general, just like the
Yeah,
massage, any of that.
yeah. Body
Um,
worker, healer, that kind of
yeah.
energy.
Yeah, oh God. It was funny. I think I was doing some kind of yoga class, makeshift class, God, years. I think it was back when I was in high school. And there was a book that the yoga instructor told me, she's like, you should get this book called Hands of Light.
Mm,
And I read the book and it was really interesting. But I took pause for many years, I think, and it probably wasn't. I was doing I always work. I feel like I've always worked like two jobs or do two different things. Well, I was working my full-time job and then I was doing the thing at my cousin's restaurant. And then I decided, I'm like, I really wanted to do something more with my hands where I could help people heal. And what happened was is I met this guy, Ray, who I went for my first massage with. And Jayme, I literally walked out of my session with him and I thought I was going to walk into a wall. I felt so profoundly different in my body. And I'm just like, what just happened? And it was because of him that ignited the fire for me
Mm,
to say, to thinking that, if he can do this for me, imagine how
mhm,
I can help people doing this kind of work.
mhm.
So that for me was, I think, that pivotal moment where I'm just like, I really should look into this more. And I was really thankful for meeting him because that not only helped me with that, but it also led me on my journey for we'll say more of like the health, more of a naturopathic health route because I was having a lot of health issues at the time too with allergies. So he, gave me a referral to a holistic nutritionist who I worked with, and it just kind of led me down a whole new road there too. So it was like two different things happening at the same time,
Mhm.
which was really it needed to happen, I think. So, and I'm thankful it did because I'm where I'm at today because of it.
Everyone listening, I want you to think back to that like person, that interaction, that thing that just like changed everything or illuminated a path, because this is a perfect example of how that goes. Just like one thing, one moment, 1 hour changed your life.
Yep.
And I think for those of us on purpose, usually there is that like It's almost like a direction in the road, a guide, someone who kind of steps in, something out of nowhere, maybe someone you'll never see again, and it just is like so profound and transformational, and things aren't the same after that. That's purpose, baby. She's explaining exactly what that is like. Um, I always like to ask my clients, what's your sign? I mean, I know your sign, but I like to ask my clients, what's your astrology sign?
I'm Sagittarius.
Of course you are. And you like to travel. Where have you been? Tell them some of the places you've been.
Oh God. Okay. In the States, oh God. Well, my husband and I, we do like we go on running vacations.
Mhm.
So I mean, obviously, like we live in New England, so New Hampshire, Maine, New York,
Oh no, tell them about
Connecticut.
the exciting fucking
All the
around the
exciting ones. Okay,
world
sorry. I'm
trips.
like, okay,
New
sorry, my
England,
bad.
LOL.
Okay,
No,
boring.
boring.
So yeah, so we actually went. Well, the really cool, like two really cool ones were we did New Zealand a couple of years ago.
Yes.
A person that my husband knows who's a runner took a big group. We went with a big group of us to do the marathon in New Zealand. I didn't do the marathon. I did the half marathon, but it was crazy and just doing that. And then we went to Iceland.
Mhm,
Joe and I went to Iceland recently for our anniversary this past September.
mhm.
And it was funny because my college roommate of my freshman year, she's from Iceland. So we reconnected with her. And I said to her, I'm like, I looked at her, I'm like, it's been 24 years, dude. I have not seen you, and you look the same. When you haven't aged, she
That
said the same
Iceland
thing to me, and I'm like, I
magic.
love you. But yeah, I mean, it was just, and it was amazing. And we just got back. We just did a vacation to Costa Rica this winter,
Mm.
and it was funny because when we were in like the rainforest, the beginning part of the trip, and I said to him, I'm like, there was a lot of things we were doing, and I'm like, I feel like I kept pointing out like we're embracing our inner child doing different things. Like we were doing a lot of like climbing and trail hiking and just being in nature. And I'm like, I love this. I'm like, we need to all do more of that.
Yes. Yes.
But I think those were my three big trips, I think, recently that we took that were pretty significant. Yeah.
Do you have any future plans for Body Logic, or do you have like projects stewing over there, brewing over there, Manny Jen?
Oh, God help me. Yeah. Well, it was funny. I was working with a guy up in Mass. It was his line of work. He does biomagnetic pairing.
Mm.
I don't ask me to explain it right now, because, but it was just it's I'm looking into doing a little bit more, understanding more of that because I don't think there's anybody around in this state of Rhode Island that does like what he does. Um, but so maybe that.
You can test it
I
out
don't
on
know.
me. You can test it
I mean,
on
like,
me. I'll
there's
be
so
your
many. I
test.
mean, oh, and then like, I don't know if you ever follow like Human Garage on Instagram.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, they had a certification program, so maybe doing more movement and helping people, like doing
Yes.
teaching group classes, doing that. Or okay, so now you had to make me go down this road, of course. Or thanks. Or like but like I love like qigong too. Like I love the
Yes.
movement.
Yes.
I did it probably about 6 months ago. There was somebody at my yoga studio who was there. He's an acupuncturist that was teaching classes, which I don't. He's not teaching classes there anymore. But man, it was just like such cool. I have never felt like so grounded after a
Mm.
class, and I did it with doing qigong. It was crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm like, there's definitely something to it. So I think I'm maybe adding more movement into my practice.
Love it.
Something like that. I was working on, a journey into fusion, which was going to be that, specialty
Hmm.
offering I was going to do. I was going to do table tie, but I'm thinking I might shift it a little bit. As far as that, I might do something else. I haven't figured out what the something else is yet. but that what something is gonna go in its place, and it's going to be the right fit for all the other services that go along with it. So yeah, yeah.
This is really good for people to hear. And for all those out there, maybe they don't know they're a Manny Gen, right? And they're like, I've got this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I'm interested in that. There's nothing wrong with you, baby. It's your design. It's who you are here to be. And I am her business coach. I love these people who are like, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, or like, listen to her. Like, if you try to do just one thing, Jen, one thing, what would happen inside your body?
Do you hear the awkward silence right now? That's what's happening. I think I would literally I would implode.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And I say that because so many people get stuck in that, like, just stick with one thing. You got certified in this. Why aren't you staying to that one thing, right? Like we have that like very conditioned cultural belief system still. You get that job and you're there for 40 to 50 years. It's like, what? No. For a lot of people, that is not the way. And it feels like failure, right? To start and
mhm.
stop things, to drop things and never pick them back up again. That's considered failure to our society, but to a Manny Jen, that's actually your power to like, and you don't need to let anyone know where you're going. And like, you don't have to explain yourself. You just go. You got to do it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I think I've realized I'm like having like my full time and then doing like it's really like, having two different things that I'm doing like a complete 180 from what I do for my full time job. It's been really good for me anyways. So I love it.
Well, this was a invigorating call, LOL, with you talking about all the things. How can they
Yep.
find you? What's the best way? I'll in the show notes, I'll put your website, I'll put your socials, but how can they find you online if they want to look up while they're listening right now?
Yeah, I mean, just you can look up, you can go to my website, www.bodylogictherapeutics.com. And you'll see an image of a person with like almost like in a yoga stance with the arms wide out, and then
Mm.
their legs are basically roots. So that's me. They can find me there. You can find me on Instagram at, I think it's at Body Logic Thera. Um, so I'm pretty active on those two. There's more information on my website for sure if you want to read up more about me, the services I offer, and how to you can reach out through me on there too.
And we have a lot of New England listeners, actually. So we have people around the world, and they can reach out to you too. Or you could get them, step them in the right direction, point them in the right direction. But for any of the local people, you have space. Do you send everyone to Soul Sanctuary at this point?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So you can book literally with Jen and come down and get some cranial sacral if you've never had it, or your children.
Yeah, I would love that. I love the cat. I love everybody. Come in. Bring it on. Bring me in a challenge. I love challenges.
I love everybody. Come on, come in. Oh my God. Well, this was fun. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll have to have you back on next year or something. I tell all my guests this year to have them on back next year to see what they're all up to and what has happened. So I can't wait to see what baskets and pots you'll be into next year.
Love it.
All right, Jen, thank you so much for being on the call today. We'll have another guest on for you guys soon, and we'll see you later. Bye.